for China to revalue its currency higher. For more analysis, we're speaking now with Charles Chaw of China Knowledge Consulting. He joins us now in our Singapore studios. What big-ticket items do you think will the Commerce Secretary Carlos Gutierrez try to market to the Chinese to be able to narrow this record-high trade gap between the Chinese and the Americans?
First of all, the U.S. side has acknowledged the fact that 60% of the deficit is the result of foreign-owned enterprises. It could be European, it could be American, it could be Japanese, of course. And there shouldn't be a cost concern. Last year, you see President Wu Jintao went to the States, signed a deal with Microsoft to buy original software. I think this is a clear message that the Chinese government are very keen and they're eager to work things out. They respect intellectual property. And then, of course, big orders like the Boeing. And these are big-ticket items. Now, not forgetting that Chinese Wu Jintao and Chinese officials have been wanting to buy big-ticket items like, of course, military weapons and supercomputers. These are big-ticket items that would help to reduce the deficit.
So the angle right now more is for exports, more investments, rather than narrowing the trade gap by appreciating the currency even further.
Whether it's short-term or mid-term, even to the extent of 5 years, we don't see deficit to reduce drastically. Simply because too many foreign enterprises, China being the world's largest factory of the world, are manufacturing there. And the numbers that export to U.S. are not necessarily all Chinese companies. Only half of them, or in fact less than half, are Chinese companies. Most of these companies that export from China to U.S. are foreign-owned.
Now that the Democrats are controlling both houses of Congress in January, a lot of people are saying that they will adopt a protectionist policy. They'll put more pressure on George W. Bush to put pressure on the Chinese to work on their currency. What more can they do at this point? Because under the Republican administration of Bush, when he led both houses of Congress, he did pressure the Chinese to revalue the currency, but to no avail, because the Chinese would move at their own pace and at their own time.
I can assure you that all big companies, American big companies doing business in China, do not want to see the relationship rock or too much pressure from the U.S. side on the Chinese officials. Now, the concern of yuan revaluation, yes, the Chinese government are taking, yes, baby steps at the moment. They have a timetable to a full opening up of the market.
You speak about Hu Jintao going to the United States and making investments and asking Microsoft to make investments in China. Are we really seeing an improvement in intellectual property? Are Chinese computer companies really using authentic Microsoft software rather than the fake software?
What I see of the way the Chinese run its country is when a degree or a policy being passed in the central government. I'm very confident that businesses will respect this policy. Now, Lenovo is a very good example when it was a trip delegates make to U.S. side, and yeah, it was hundreds of billions of dollars of deals signed with Microsoft. That is a show of a respect of intellectual property.
Charles Chaw from Knowledge Consulting. Nice to have you with us on the program.